Alright, morning everyone. I better watch where I step here because a few landmines out there, so we'll stay over here I think, because I'll be looking at the camera and then all of a sudden, ba-boom. Not much going on, so I thought I'd do a bit of an update. We're going to do a pretty quick project today. Nothing I'm making, I'm just going to go and buy a shelf very similar. Same people I bought these off. We got some more of their shelving inside. It's flimsy, it's not the best. If you're going to use it for a workbench, definitely don't use this. They do better ones, you know, the blue and the orange one, much stronger. This is just real flimsy, but fine for just chucking stuff on, storage, things like that. So what I want to do is put a little storage thing in the shed, the little detailing shed thing that I've got out around the side there. I've got these left over from when these two were puppies. We used to keep them in there. There was 8 sections. I just divvied it up, cut it in half, 4x4, just took some of these out, and I'll show you, it's around there as well. So I looked at Bunnings. Bunnings kind of sell this style of shelving. They don't have one that suits the size that I need. Hobbs Display do. They're called Hobbs Display. They're in Malaga, so we'll go for a drive over there. So what I want to do, I'll bring the measure tape because I've got to double check a few things. I've actually got to put this camera on charge. I've just seen that I haven't used it. Nothing's really been going on. I think the last video I did was the chip thing in the, or whatever you want to call it, the chip thing in the Z to make it a bit faster. But yeah, that was a few weeks ago now. So yeah, I've just cut, using that little angle grinder thing, I've just cut a thing out there, so then that would go like that. It actually fits really well. One-handed, it's a bit difficult. Kind of like that. It fits in that fence. The dogs wouldn't knock it off anyway. And like that, and then this brick keeps it in here. But then I had an extra 4 things that I was dealing with, whereas this is perfect. I was actually looking at like a retractable gate. Yeah, so the reason I've got that is so the dogs can still go in and out, because that's their little doggy door just there. They can go out the back, do their business. But when I'm working on the cars, I like to have this door open. So if this door's open to the garage, it's locked at the moment, and I've got the garage door up, then they can get out onto the road, and I don't want that. So yeah, so that gives me access to this shed. If I'm doing any work on the car, I've normally got my toolbox here. That way I don't have to lift it up over that ledge. So yeah, that way I've got access to my toolbox. If I'm cleaning the cars, I've got access to all this business here, and I don't have to keep opening and closing that door so that they don't get out. We can block them from here. So that's all that was. That was just a little quickie, and then that way if I ever need to go out the back, I can just do that, and then it just clicks back in, kind of. But yeah, with 2 hands obviously it's easier, but yeah, like that. But I mean, even if I left it like that, just quickly, they're not going to jump that. They can't jump over that anyway. So yeah, it's fine. Actually, you probably want to leave it on this side of the fence, kind of like that. I may actually just cut one more notch out of that. That way it can go this way a little bit more, and then yeah, because if they're going to try and push it, it's going to hit that fence. So anyway, it's a work in progress, but that's fine for what it is at the moment. Yeah, and now I've only got 4 things to deal with. It's half the thickness, and I'll just keep it here, nice and easy. But yeah, what I want to do is put a shelf there. I didn't think I'd need it. You can see how much crap is in here. It's and it's getting on my nerves, because whenever I want to get something from the back there, the shelf that's there is not big enough. That's all there is. A shelf there. It's hard to tell. I'm going to rip everything out now, and then that way I can get in there and measure it. Yeah, I don't mind having to take, because I put stuff there that I don't use all the time. So it's okay, but when I want to get to it, I can kind of lean in and get it, but then everything that's on top falls down, which is what happened this morning. That's why that bottle's there. So yeah, I want to kind of take everything out of there that's going to go on the shelf, and then put the shelf there, and then sorry, I want to take everything out, take that shelf that's out, put that somewhere else, put everything else back in, so pressure washer, polish thing, probably not these things, but the crawler, and then measure how much space I got just to make sure this shelf is going to fit. That's all I want to do today, or right now, and then we'll zip down the shop and go and get that. So yeah, let me do that, and I'll get back to you. So that's the shelf I bought, thinking, I don't know why I thought that would work, but anyway, it doesn't matter. And I just found I had a car cover in there, and that's what was causing all the problems, so don't need that anymore. That's off the Torana. Got a few things there that'll go in the shed, and then I had all these as well, which was for my jack stands. So what I might do actually, I don't want to sell them because I know exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to sell them, and then I'm going to one day need them. I've got those hydraulic ramps, but you never know, and it is a good idea to put them under there, but I never have. That hydraulic ramp is mechanically locked once it's in is two positions that it can be mechanically locked in, so there's just no need. There's no need to have them, so they might actually go in the shed, in the back shed, so in that shed there, not in my shed. Well, I've got room for them actually under the shelf, but yeah, anyway, so they might get out of here anyway, and yeah, we'll go from there. But I've got but really everything else has to stay. My main concern, if I can fit in here, is the distance from, yeah, so that's fine. So the new shelf is 450, and I've got, yeah, no, we're right. So it is that bit. It's going to be close, but it should fit. Yeah, 450, if you can see that. 450 is shy of, I'll put my finger on it, 450 is there. So we're shy of that. Worst case scenario, I'll find another spot for that, but I can't find another shelf. See, even if I see, this is from Bunnings, this one, but I've only got 700 to play with. I can't measure it with one hand, maybe across here. So if I just go, I need two hands to do this, so yeah, so 700 is my absolute maximum, and I think this shelf I'm looking at is 680, so that'll fit perfectly. This is a good depth, but it's way too wide, this one. So yeah, it's way too wide, and I'm pretty sure that's kind of one of the smallest shelves that Bunnings sell. They do sell smaller, but they're like a galvanized thing that goes together with like 1,000 nuts and bolts, and I'm not putting that together. I can't be bothered. So yeah, I think that's the best way. We'll take this out now and go down and get that shelf that is going to fit, and it's 1.8 meters high, which is, I'm pretty sure, going to fit as well. Didn't actually check that. Let's have a look, because it actually goes down at the back here. Oh yeah, it's going to be tight. Again, you won't be able to. There's 1.8. Okay. So this shed's 1.9 to about here, if you can see that. About 1.9 there. So 1.83 is down here. So all good. So we'll fit that in. And then you can see there, I've got rid of my vacuum cleaner because now that's permanently mounted in the shed, in the garage. So that's not there anymore. So that's another shelf freed up. So I really do just have to rejig, like this thing is hanging, can go down there and have a spot down there. So I think that's what I could do, is just remodel this shed now. The main reason is now that I can get rid of my jack stands, all those little pads there all went underneath the jack stand, so I didn't scratch the floor in there. Don't need them anymore. The car cover was in here, don't need that anymore. This stuff is going to go. What else is there? That's about it. And it would be nice to get my bike rack in here, so to keep it, not that it gets wet under here. You can see the roof I've made. It stays really, really dry under here. You can come out here when it's pissing with rain and it's fine. And I've made this gutter, so all the water just hits that, runs inside into this gutter, and then it just hooks into that. So that works really well. So it's not a drop of water under here, so it's not too bad, but it still gets moisture on it being outside. So if I can put it in here, it would be handy. Even if I have to bury this thing and move a lot of things to get to it, I'm not too fussed with that. So yeah, one thing that can be buried is the creeper, because I don't use that all the time. Another thing that can be buried is that thing, because I don't use it all the time. But things that need to be easily accessible if it goes in there is the bike rack, the pressure washer, none of that stuff, because that's all for car servicing stuff, and this thing that has to be easy to get to. So everything else can be buried. I'm even thinking about putting that in the back shed over there, because that I'd go years without opening that. I don't need it in here. It's taking up way too much space. So that might be an on the. There's a fair bit of room in that. And since I've modified that shed with this little feature, this is staying really clean and dry in here. So the main cause of this getting water in it. So what I've done was, you can kind of see it there. This bit of plastic that goes from the fence to the gutter. You can probably see it here better. So it's closed up this gap. So there is a gutter here. So now the water hits the fence, hits this new bit of plastic and comes this way. And this stays, like, I have not cleaned in here for a long time, and there's not even a drop of sand or anything. And you know, we're in summer at the moment, almost coming out of summer. And if it was going to be dusty, it'd be really dusty in here, and it's not. So yeah, it's working really well. So that may come in here. I think that's what's going to have probably happen. Good spot for it, probably not there, because in case it does get water come in, it's going to come in from there. I'd prefer it over here. So I might just bunch these tools up, and then that thing can slip in here, or go over there and then they come here, whatever. But I think that's what's going to happen, is we'll get rid of, that's got all my polishing stuff in it. So oh geez, it is humid today. I think we're pushing like 84% or something. I'll put a screenshot up, but this morning it was like 86%. Really bad. And it's not even hot, but it feels ultra hot. Especially under this roof, it makes it feel a lot hotter. So that's got all my polishing stuff in it. So that's all. Saying that, I am going to need it soon, because my missus is i20. I've just got back from a... Okay, yeah, battery just went flat in that other camera, so I've got that on charge. What I was saying was, my missus's car, it's not here at the moment, so I can't show you, but it's got, when we bought it, had a little spot on the roof that was starting to, it looked like it had bird poo on it, and somebody had left it for a long time, and it damaged the clear coat, and it was a bit like spiderwebby kind of thing. I polished it, didn't really come any better. Anyway, it's gotten worse. That bit got worse and worse, and then I noticed on the back of the boot, the clear coat was very, very thin. You could touch it; it was very rough. I tried polishing it, and it actually made it worse. So I'm like, well, there's no clear coat there. So it felt like paint without clear coat, and that's what it is. So then, over the last 6 months, the mirror's starting to fade. The passenger side mirror's starting to fade on the top. Not fade, like bubble. The clear coat's starting to fail. The roof's gotten a lot worse. The boot's gotten a lot worse. It's starting on the bonnet. It's got scratches and dents all over it. So I thought, and the main reason is, it's a hatchback. So where you lift the hatch up near the roof, the top of the roof, where the hinges are for the boot lid, it's starting to get surface rust. Again, they didn't put any clear coat under there, and I can understand why. It's not out in the open, but it does get wet, because when it rains, the rain runs off the roof into this little cavity where the hinge is, and it's starting to rust, and because there's no clear coat. So I went to a panel beater, and I was just going to get him to fix that problem with the boot. And he gave me a price, and I said, yeah, that's fine, because for me to do it, it's going to take me a whole day probably to do. I've got to take the boot lid off, which I can do. I've got to rub it back. I've got to prime it. So I need a can of primer, a can of colour, and a can of clear. And I don't like using the stuff from Super Cheap Auto. I prefer to go to this automotive paint supply shop, and it's proper 2-pack paint like it's got like a little thing down the bottom that you crack, and it releases the hardener. You shake it, you only get a day to use a can, but that's the best stuff. I've used it on my other car, and it's really good. So once I buy all that, you're talking, I think the primer's only about $30 or $40 a can. The colour and the clear are probably about $60 a can. The colour's probably more expensive than the clear, because the clear is just off the shelf, but the colour they have to mix up and put it in one of these cans. So that's probably getting up to about the $80 mark. Now, I've been to this guy before and got for him to match colours, and I don't know if he's colourblind or whatever, but it never comes the same. So there is another shop that I wouldn't go to this guy again, due to the fact, Commodore, the i20, when we bought it, I bought a little thing of touch-up paint, totally different colour. The Commodore was like 5 shades of white different. What else did I do? I think I did the Tirana, and that was okay, but it was a solid yellow colour and a solid black colour, and that was okay. I mean, but you know, 2-year-old could match that paint. But anyway, yeah, so I probably wouldn't go back to him, but there's another guy in Balcatta. I would have gone to him probably, but he'd be about the same price. So anyway, I went to this guy, I found him on Facebook. He's only around the corner from me in Wangara, right like 2 streets away from my work. Just a one-man band, rents out a little, you know, like half the size of this block, not even probably, as his shop, and goes from there. And my arm's getting tired, that's why I keep moving. That's better. So yeah, went and saw him, told him about the boot. He's seen it, he goes, yeah, you better fix that, because you can see it's going to get worse. He gave me a price. I was like, okay, and it was a lot less than what I was thinking. It was almost the cost of me buying the materials, the drop sheets, plus then I'm dealing with dust for weeks after that in my garage, and it's not going to be as good job as what this guy's going to do, because that's what he does every day. So I was like, oh, okay. I said, so what about this bit here on the mirror and the roof and the door, the passenger door's clear coat's starting to go. And he said, to be honest, he just rubbed back the whole car, fix all the little things around it. I said, look, don't worry about dents, because then that would make the price go up. So he's going to fix all the scratches. Don't worry about the dents. Re-clear the whole car, fix the boot. And it was quite a reasonable price. So I'm going to go with him and do that. So that's going to go, I think it's only the 12th of March today. He said at the end of the month, 25th or so, he'd be free. So I'm going to take it there then. And I said, to bring the cost down even more, can we tee it up? And I'll come and rub the car down, because I'm capable. I'm not painting it, but I can rub the car down. He goes, yeah, you can take another $500 off. So I thought that was a good deal. So I'll just tee it up on a day when I was going to have the day off anyway, and like on a Friday, I normally knock off early. So if I can tee it up for around a Friday, that would work perfectly. Because there's no point me taking a day off work to then go save $500. Just get him to do it. It's not worth it if I've got to take a day off. But if I'm getting the day off anyway, or it's a Friday where I finish early, then perfect. Or over the weekend. He said he works Saturdays, so that might even be on the cards as well. If I can do it for a Friday and possibly Saturday, so then it gives 2 days then. So yeah, so I will need that polishing stuff soon, but it's no dramas if it goes in that back shed there. We've got the track day coming up. That's like in 3 weeks' time, and I still haven't sat in my car with a helmet on and adjusted the seat to see if I can fit. I've quickly done it and it didn't fit, and I was really angry because now I can't go to the track day. So I've been putting it off. I don't have to tell anyone. You can just leave it to the day and rock up. So there's no signing. You do it all there on the day. So it's not like I've got to tell someone 3 weeks or 2 weeks in advance that if I'm going or not going. It's a free day anyway, so it's all good. So I'm just putting it off because I'm 90% sure I know what the outcome's going to be, is that I'm not going to fit and not be able to go on the track day. But anyway, I'll do it when I can do it. But anyway, let's go to Hobbs. I'm not even going to get changed. I've got my dirty gear on. I'm just going to go down to Hobbs. I think that's all I need to do. Don't need a Bunnings run, no. I think it's just Hobbs, get this shelf, and that's it. So yeah, we'll go there. I'll build it. There's no point in me building it on camera. They go together really. There's no nuts or bolts. That's why I like them. They just kind of fit and grab in there. yeah, I'm pretty sure this is going to be the same, because I've got them in the shed and I've got them in this room here with all our camping gear on them. And same deal, it's all flimsy, and then you put in a couple spots and it goes rock solid, and there's not one screw or nut or bolt or anything to do. It all just fits in like almost like Lego, just all clicks in. And yeah, about 3/4 of the way building it, you're going, this is not strong enough, because the thing's just waving around like a tree in the wind. And then you put like the last 2 bits in, and it just locks it like it's welded together. So yeah, pretty good. I mean, but the shelving is very, very thin metal. It's like I said, if you're going to use it for a workbench or something that you're going to put things on and off all the time, I wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't touch the stuff. But if it's just for light duty, just to put things on, and just for storage and things like that, it's fine. You could even just change the shelf out. That wouldn't be too hard to do. But for what I needed it for, it was fine. Like there is way better shelving than what these guys sell. I'm not saying it's really good stuff. It's just good. It's a good price, and it can suffice for what most people would need it for. But like I said, a workbench or something, I wouldn't touch it. No way, it's way too flimsy. If you saw the video, if you go back like, I don't know, a year and a half or so, I was changing the aircon in my shed, and I slipped it out and it dropped. It's quite a big aircon, it's like 45, 50 kilos, and it dropped on this bench and just dented it. Like the arm, the main support arm had a big, so I had to panel beat that. But anyway, it serves a purpose for light duty stuff, and it's not like this shelf I'm looking at getting is like $80, so all good. Actually, she does something funny. The last few times I bought things off her, it's a price, and then it always ends up more. There's like a fee. I don't know what she's doing, or even if you're allowed to do it. I don't think you're allowed to do things like that. But it's still, even with that, it's still cheap as. So it's all good. Another thing I did just this morning is put this on. It was starting to peel up. This one was all flapping. When I get my pressure washer, the pressure of I don't shoot the pressure watered under here, but just by hitting that and then a little bit going up, you could see this was starting to flap about, and I didn't want to lose it, because I don't know if you can actually buy these separately. I think you have to buy the whole kit, and the rest of them are fine. It was just that one was a bit loose. So I ended up buying same day delivery actually off Amazon, some 3M VHB. It's only 10mm wide, because that's all it needs to be, but you can buy all different thicknesses. It's 10 meters in length, 10mm wide, and yeah, I just been pushing every hour or so. I just come and give it a bit of a push, but they reckon after 72 hours it's 100% bond, so cleaned everything up. So that was a 10-minute job, so not hard to do that. But anyway, all right. I'll leave the jibber jabbering, whatever you want to call it, and I'll go to Hobbs, and I'll see you when I get back. All right, so I'll just give you a quick look. So that's the shelf. I was going to get 1.83, but I wouldn't have been able to use the top shelf. So then I went down to the 1.61, and then she had a 1.31, which probably would have worked out, but this way I get an extra shelf, so all good. So I'm jam-packed again to the roof, but we're using that space way more efficiently now. So yeah, that's all good. So I got I think there's some coolant for either car. There's two different types of coolant, degreaser and isopropyl alcohol. I just buy it in like a 5-litre container. It's just much easier. Oil drain pan, little service stool. And then from pretty much here on down is things I hardly ever use, because I will keep that polishing thing in here. We'll put it all together soon. So I'm thinking, yeah, stuff I hardly ever use. It will go here. That way I don't ever have to really take anything out to get to them. It's a once a year kind of grab, if that, over for all that stuff there. You'd be able to get to this little shelf here, because that's got my little tool caddy. Yeah, I'd barely use that anyway. It's mainly this shelf and this shelf I use, so they're going to be accessible even with something here. That's back in. This hasn't really changed a lot, except I had a heap of empty containers, which are those ones. I use them to put all my old oil in, and then they get recycled. Bit of car cleaning stuff. I've got heaps of space, because now the thing that was here is now there, up the top there. So that's out of the way. That doesn't ever get used. So it makes more sense to have that there. So I'll put this stuff back in. It's only really those 3 things there, and I'll give you another look. And that's it. She's all in. I think what's happened is, so everything is a bit tighter now. This new shelf is sticking out this way a bit more, which means this can't go that way as much. Only by a little bit, maybe 20 mil. I've got a bit of space, but you can see there the handle of this thing. I've really got to kind of put these two things in together. So yeah, I think that will get moved to the little shed over there. But I'll leave it here now until I get the i20 back, which is going to be probably, I think he said he'll have it for about a week, painting it, sanding it down, fixing all the stuff and painting it. So I should get that by the end. It's going to go in on 25th of March, so I should get that back early April. Then we're going to wait 2 weeks, 2 months. I'm going to give it 2 months. Then it probably won't get a polish because it's not that type of car, but you've got to wait 2 months before you ceramic coat anything, just to let the paint. You can see how sweaty it is. It's hot, but it's even worse under this thing. There's just no airflow here. So yeah, you got to wait the 2 months for the paint to really dry. If you get it back from the panel beaters and then go and whack a ceramic coat over it, it can't gas out, and I think it makes bubbles, or so you'll get some defect in the paint. It probably won't be in the paint; it will be more in the ceramic coat, because it's trying to break through, but you've put a ceramic coat and the paint can't breathe. And that's only for the first 2 months of brand new paint. So yeah, so I'll leave that there until that happens, because there might be some spots that may need a polish here or there. So yeah, we'll leave that there, unless it really pisses me off, and I think it's gonna. So if it does, then it's going to get moved straight away. But otherwise, I'll leave it there because I'm going to need it. I just don't want to go bury it in that shed and then have to dig it out in 2 months' time. So yeah, we'll leave it. We'll leave it at that. But you can see there, I've got a lot of extra room. So I may even find some stuff from the shed that's to do with the cars, like the spare part box or something like that. And I may even chuck it here just to get it out of the shed. But I'll find something. There's even room down the bottom shelf as well. There's nothing there, so yeah. So we'll go from there. But that was a good little thing. That i20. I also bought new gas struts for the boot, because they're kind of you've got to put it and let it sit there for a bit, and then you can take your hand away, and then it won't. Actually, I'll tell you all about it. But let's just wrap this up because it's getting really hot here. Turn the light off. Oh, it was on the dimmest setting. A bit like me. No, you gotta push this door. I've got to fix this door too. Oh, there it goes. If you push, it doesn't work. If you pull, it doesn't work. You got to get it right in the right spot, and then it catches. I think we're good here. So yeah, the bike rack is still there. There's no way that's fitting in there. Possibly when I get rid of that polishing toolbox in the back shed, then it may fit in. It even came with a little hammer. I might even keep that because it's like rubber. Or yeah, is it rubber or soft plastic? I'm not sure, but pretty handy. That came with a shelf. And yeah, that's it. Heaps cleaner now. Awesome. Bit more usable. That was getting really oh, that's better. There's a bit of a breeze over here. That was getting really annoying, that, because every time I went in there something would fall, and it was just buried with stuff that I never used, so that worked out quite well. Yeah, so the i20, I've got boot struts coming because the old ones are starting to go, the gas struts that hold the boot up. I've got a new, so the key fob to unlock the car with the key in it, all the, the lock symbol, unlock symbol, and boot symbol, I think, to pop the boot, I think it is all faded. You can barely tell. So I've got some new things of them coming. Not a whole new fob, just the pad, the rubber pad. What else was there? There was something else. I got some of those window shades. I don't know if you guys have noticed on the i20, it's got those stupid window socks things. They are rubbish. They just flap around on the freeway. When you're washing the car, they're hard to wash around because they just gather all the soap. They're a bastard to put on. They don't stay properly. They come with their stupid little tiny little double-sided just junk. I couldn't find anything else, but searching on Amazon, I found not window socks, snap shades, and that's the same ones what I've got all around the whole car in my wagon, the back, the side back. Where you obviously can't get them for the front side windows, but yeah, got them for everywhere else, and they're really good. So they go on the inside, they're not on the outside, so really good, and you can still put the window up and down and everything, so all good there. So yeah, got a set of them coming. Let me look on my phone. Oh yeah, and I've already got them and put them on, some covers for the flat face fittings for the ramp. The ones I had didn't quite fit because they're obviously not a flat face. They were the I can't remember what they were, started with P, but anyway, not using them anymore. So yeah, I ordered a pack of 4 male, 4 female red fittings for the I'll put a screenshot up anyway, to protect the fittings obviously when they're not in use. That's all that was. They were there's your screenshot. They were only $24, I think they were. So if it was $3.8, yeah, $24, yeah, $24.80 for 4 male, 4 female. So that was pretty good. Gas struts are only $25. Yeah, $25 for them. The only thing is they're not going to get here for a while. Oh no, 18th of March to 24th of March, which is fine because I'm pretty much going to chuck them in the car. So when we pop the boot out at the panel beaters, old struts have to come off. They'll go in the bin, and then when he puts it all back together, we'll put the new struts on. So all good. It was the key fob pad is not coming until April, mid-April. So yeah, that's going to be a while. And that was it. That's all I really need for that car to get it all back to tip-top condition. I did mention it in a previous video. We've only just serviced it, and I got a big one. It was oil filter, coolant, gearbox oil, brake fluid. Yeah, got the works. And the previous service was spark plugs, air filter, cabin filter. So she's and in between those two services was brake rotors and brake pads. So all good. So yeah, that car is and that's why I don't mind spending the money at the panel beaters, because that car it's only done 80,000. I think that's what the last service was 80,000 Ks. It's a 2014. It's in really good condition. The interior is really nice. No one's even sat in the back seat. So yeah, it's. I think it was a young girl's car, and probably only used it to go to uni or to work or whatever. And it's in really good condition, except for the paint. The paint is just crap. So, the panel beater did tell me that he uses PPG paint. And he was telling me that they just put a dust coat on at the factory. They don't really go overboard with the clear at all. Whereas he uses 2 heavy coats. He said he'll put on 2 heavy coats. So it'll have a nice build on it, and it'll last way longer than that. Also, the car's outside 24/7, so that was another reason. And that's why it's deteriorated so much since we've had it so quick. We've only had it 2 years, so 2 years this month actually. So yeah, it's outside. Like if it's at our house, it's outside. We don't obviously have enough room in the garage, and then my missus takes it to the train station car park every day to go to work, so it's outside there. So yeah, she's cooking in the sun all the time, so it needs as much protection as it can. All the exterior trim is, I don't know why, but it's in really good condition. It's not like faded or anything, so it's got a bit of chrome, bit of black, and it's all in good nick. So it's just the paint that lets it down, so we'll fix that. But anyway, I said it in the last video, I have no clue. It has been ultra boring around here lately. We've had, probably for the better, we've had nothing break. I've not had to fix things that have been broken for a long time, but nothing's actually just come out of the blue and broken. I was only saying to the missus the other day, I haven't been to Bunnings for probably over a month. I'd say it's been over a month. And I've even got a list on my phone that if I just think of something, I'll write it on there. And it's got Bunnings, Super Cheap Auto, Kmart, just whatever shops that we normally go to. That way, when you go to the shop, you just crank your phone open and go, oh, that's right, I need that, I need this. I haven't even got anything on the list, which is crazy, absolutely crazy. It's probably the longest period I can remember for 10 plus years that I have not been to Bunnings. I can't. They're going to start calling me soon to find out if I'm okay, I reckon. Making wellness checks on me, because I was there at least twice a week for going through a stage there. So everything's working really well. Like, I spent heaps of time doing things, but yeah, haven't had to fix anything. The garden lights are going good with the solar panel up there. The garden, I think when probably won't do a video about it because it's not going to be very exciting, but when the weather starts cooling down a bit, because it's still a little bit too hot, we're just starting to touch 30s and high 20s at the moment. The 35, 40 degree days are all done with, but when winter actually starts, because it hasn't actually started yet, and with low 20s with no humidity, we're going to spend a day in the garden. You can see this side is not as bad. That doesn't get as much sun over there because of that fence. The sun kind of goes north is that way, so the sun goes that way, but the sun shades this bit. That was one of the reasons we couldn't get grass. Thanks, Dex. He doesn't he lifts his leg, but he doesn't lean on anything. That's one of the reasons we were going to get real grass, for that reason, because he pisses on it and it stinks. But now I've found out my way to clean the grass quite good. It's just in winter, the shade line kind of runs through like that, like half of the grass just never gets any sun, so it would die anyway. And I suspect that's why the plants aren't doing... Well, they're doing okay. I prefer them to be like that rather than like that over there, like massive. So that's what we're going to do. When we get a nice cool day, is just trim all these plants back. I want to get rid of some of the ugly ones, and ugly ones I mean that one. Well, that's the same, so that'll go. Trim these back a bit. Just keep some of the nicer looking ones, and trim some of these back. And then these are quite easy to just snap a branch and then go and plant it over there, and it'll just grow. Obviously can't do it during summer, you got to do it during winter, so that's another reason we're waiting. And then we'll get some mulch. We'll probably get there's a landscaping supply shop up the road in Malaga, and he does like 60 kilo bags or 40 kilo bags of mulch. So they're bigger than the ones you buy at Bunnings, and they're the same price but double the amount. About 5 bags will do all this, and we'll remulch everything, trim all them up, get that all looking good, and that's about it. And then I'll do my normal pre-winter kind of. I'll let one rain come, like one heavy rain, and that'll wash all the roof off. It'll wash all the dust off the roof and the solar panels a little bit, but I don't want to do it before the first rain. So I always let the first rain come, get up all the dust that it can. Then it fills the gutters with dust. So then I'll go around and I'll clean all the gutters out and just make sure they're all nice and clean with as little of dust that just got washed off as possible. So that'll all come out. And then I get my bleach solution. I do the solar panels. I do all the walls of the house. I do the gate, the fence, all the front of the house. All the brick. I get degreaser and detergent mixed together quite strong. I do all the driveway. That brick paving out the front. I do the grass. Get it really sudsed up and give it a nice clean everywhere. Just everywhere gets a spray. And then the last thing I do is the windows. I go around and do all the windows. Give them a nice clean up. At the front, we got blinds over our front windows. So the blinds will get cleaned, let them dry, then they roll up for winter. We don't keep them in there for winter. Keep them down for winter, only in summer. Then do the front windows, and then they're done. This will get a birthday, so I normally once a year give this a really good degrease and all that kind of stuff. And that's it. So that's coming up. I don't know if I'll film. I may do. That's a multi-day thing. I can't, the way my back is and my knees, I can't do all that work in one day. Normal person would easily be able to do that in one day, but I just can't do it. So I normally try and spread it over, depending on how I feel and how hot it is and all that. Probably 3 days, but maybe 2. I'll see if I can do it in 2, but I don't push myself, because if I push myself to do it in 2, then I stuff my back up or my knees up, and then I'm out of action for 4 or 5 days. So I'm better off just to take the 3 days, and it takes 3 days, and then I'm sweet on the 4th day. If I try and smash it out and do it in 1 or 2 days, I'm going to be out for 4 or 5 days anyway. So, and multiple trips to the chiro and getting massages and stuff like that. So it's not worth it. But I had a walk around the other day, and I just can't come up with... I'd be creating work for myself, and I don't like doing that. I actually did some painting touch-ups yesterday. 2 years, 3 years, maybe 3 years. I can't remember now. Yeah, maybe 3. I think we'd be pushed. Nah, I think it's 2 years. No, it is 2 years. We got the house painted 2 years ago, everything inside, and out here as well actually. So yeah, I just got the paint because there was a bit of paint left over. Just touched up the corners where the dogs rub up around corners and stuff like that. You get a bit of marks. Some of the skirting was a bit scratched, so touched that up. The main one was this door that goes into this room here. Always scraped when you close it, and during winter I think it stops, but in summer it comes back, and something must be expanding or absorbing moisture. So I've got like a tiny little plane, like a hand little plane, but it's only, you know, very small. It's not your average plane, and just shaves like a pencil sharpener. Just shave that whole door back quite a bit, because I've done it once before and it fixed it, and then would we just come out of summer, so then yeah, it's been scraping all summer again. So what's the name? So I did it again, and it scratched the frame. So I had to touch up sand and touch up the frame, and scrape back and paint the door again, just on the side where the lock is, not on the faces of the door. So that was good. Otherwise it'd be taking the door off and painting it out here and rubbing it back, or making a mess inside, and I didn't want to do that. But anyway, yeah, I'm not lost, but I should be happy that there's nothing to do. But video-wise, there's no videos, so there may be a break. What I'm trying to say is there may be a break coming up in the next week or so. If I do fit in my car with my helmet, I'll definitely take the camera and we'll do some videoing at Collie on the track day. But yeah, I haven't seen if I can make myself fit. I don't fit. The first time I sat in there with my helmet, I don't fit, but I'm going to try and make myself fit, if that makes sense. I'll have to play with things, but if it's just too uncomfortable, I'm not going to do it, because it's not worth driving down there for 2.5 hours to be uncomfortable driving around a track to then drive back for 2.5 hours. It's not going to work. So all good. But yeah, if you don't hear from me for a couple of weeks, that's probably why, after this video. But yeah, if something pops up, I'll whip the camera on and we'll get into it. But anyway, cheers for the help, and catch you on the next one.